Is it possible to get a pair of true wireless headphones with ANC for under $90? Sabah everybody and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to check out the TicPods ANC. These are the latest pair of headphones from Mobvoi, the same company that makes the TicWatch or the TicWatch Pro that I have on my wrist. And of course, they're featuring ANC for under $90 with their latest pair of true wireless headphones. This is TK, let's check them out. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos on the channel. So this is the TicPods ANC. The actual package is very simple. The box pretty much very self-explanatory. Bluetooth 5.0 for the technology. Obviously that's how it's going to connect to our devices. It has a 13mm driver in each earbud, so you'll be able to have obviously two of those for great audio. Basically really good on the mids and lows, and actually not that bad on the highs. Overall, with the active noise cancellation as well as the actual ear tip that goes into the ear canal, is the TicPods ANC. On the left side here, it just pretty much explains that it is independent connection to your smartphone, which means both of these earpieces will connect independently. You can use one at a time or you can use them both at the same time. The ANC is rated to be basically able to reduce audio of up to 25 dB of ambient noise, and of course high quality sound using the 13mm drivers that we have inside. Last but not least, there's a few things you want to keep in mind. There's three different modes that this pair of headphones will have. There is pass-through mode, which enables us to listen to outside noise. So it essentially makes it so that you don't have any kind of lowered noise and you don't have to speak up and your voice doesn't go higher. There's ANC on and then there's ANC off. So those are the three different modes. The battery life, the best options obviously will always be whenever you have ANC off, where there's no noise cancellation. And that's going to give you not only the best audio experience, but also the longest battery life, as there's about a 30-minute discrepancy between the two. Whenever you turn on ANC, battery life drops from about 5 hours worth of usage to down to about essentially 4.5 hours. The batteries that we have here are basically rated to go up to 18 hours with the included case, and the case itself has a 400 milliamp battery. The actual earbuds themselves charge directly in the case. There is no wireless charging on this, unfortunately only USB-C. We have an indicator light that's present here on the bottom as well as on the front, so you have one right there. And of course also on the earpods themselves there is actually basically an LED light to tell you how the battery levels are doing. There is no gesture functionality. There's basically just touch sensitivity, and that's present on that little top earpiece part of it. So basically you double tap, triple tap, and we'll talk a little bit more about that part. But other than that, I think it's pretty much self-explanatory. Great audio for basically the ability of initiating your assistant. So either Siri with iOS devices as well as Android for the Google Assistant. Although on Samsung devices, for me, it seems like it only wants to launch Bixby. So if you're using Samsung devices, just be aware of that. And as far as what you get in the box, pretty much you get two additional ear tips, a USB-C to USB Type-A connector to charge the case, a few TicPod, just stickers, instruction manual, getting started information sheet right there. And in the instruction booklet, you'll see that's the actual touch-sensitive section on the top of the earpiece, and you can double press it or double tap. You'll start and pause music, triple tap to skip track on the right ear, double tap on the left does the exact same thing, pick up and hang up calls, press and hold will hang up on a call, triple tap on the left ear if you're using both headphones, and of course on the right ear when you're using a single one. Last but not least, also the information about the actual the overall indicator lights that we have on the case, on the bottom, on the top, as well as on the earpods. Now as far as using them, I've been using it with my Galaxy S20 Ultra, and pairing them is pretty simple. You just basically turn them on the first time, and if you're not, you can just jump into the pairing mode. I do want to mention though that this does not actually work with the TicPod or the Mobvoi application. So Mobvoi does have an application that they use for the TicPods 2 Pro and other versions of their headphones. This actually does not. All of the functions and everything that we need to do on them will actually be running straight on the earpods themselves, and which makes it very nice and very simple, because if you're using it with an Android or an iOS device, it's going to work the exact same way. The only difference though, again, depending on the device that you're using, it will launch a different assistant based on the ecosystem that you're on. Now the earpods definitely have a lot of resemblance to what we saw with AirPods, not even current generation, but like past generations of AirPods. There is a silicone case that's right on top of the ear, so if we remove it, pretty much exactly looks like what that inspired theme, I would say. The touch sensitive area, as I mentioned, is present on the top. Now one thing I really like about this, there is an indicator here for right and left, so we know obviously this is the left, but the silicone case that we have here is not just trying to give us a nice cover for it. It actually makes it so that the actual sound goes straight into our ear canal, providing us with some type of noise reduction already by just putting it on. So without even turning anything on, it automatically does a nice level of noise reduction, also enabling us to listen to music at a much lower volume had it been and just sitting in our ears, similar to the old style of it, or let's say the other TicPods that were released earlier. Both ears don't have basically any in-ear detection, so it does not detect, but it does have the microphones to be able to start doing the noise cancellation. So earpiece just goes straight in there, as well as the microphone for noise cancellation, and there's an additional one here as well as on the back. The pin connectors on the bottom are going to charge directly from the case itself, and again, no wireless charging, just straight USB-C fast charging. About an hour and a half to be able to charge them to 100%. I've liked them and I've been using them for the last 5 days, and overall the experience with these guys is they're light, they're easy to use, but again, it's something that you need to basically find the right fit. The ear tips out of the box, the standard ones were the ones that worked for me, and this may not be the ones for you, and you should use the other ear tips that they have included in there. As far as water and dust resistance, this is rated to be an IPX5, so it is going to be good for running as well as basically sports activity. And I do want to mention to you guys that they are magnetically connected here, so let's go ahead and put them in. So once you put them in, you're actually able to basically just flip them over and it doesn't fall off. So for me, it works great. I've also done a couple of 10K runs with this, so it's definitely able to last over an hour in my ears, and the audio performance was absolutely fantastic. Now, coincidentally, I charged this case to 100% about 4 days ago, and I've been using them every single day as my main headphones, and I have not had to charge the case or the actual headphones themselves. Once I'm done using them, I just obviously put them back in here. The indicator light just tells me exactly how it's going. If the batteries do get low, the earphones themselves do actually make an announcement, the battery low, so that's when you know you need to put them back in the case. So a lot of cool things, again, all for under about 90 bucks, which is really good specifically for the things that you're getting here, and of course the audio performance. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and put them on and let me show you guys how they look. So when it comes down to the fit, it's actually pretty simple. You just put them in there. Again, the little silicone tip will actually fit straight into the ear canal, and then just point the microphone straight down to your mouth. And actually, they have a pretty good fit overall. I did a couple of runs, a couple of 10K runs with them, and they didn't even budge. They didn't even move. And because of the IPX5 rating, they're not going to have any problems with a little bit of sweat going on, or even kind of like a little perspiration that's going on there. The 3 different modes that we have here are able to be switched between one over to the other without even having anything to do with the smartphone. You press and hold the actual touch sensitive area for 2 seconds, and it'll switch over from one section to the other, and it announces which version, or which, if it is audio pass through, or if it's ANC on or ANC off, and you're able to know exactly where you are. The audio noise cancellation that you have in here is actually about, I would say, used in 2 different stages. There's 2 parts of it. The silicone tip provides first part, which reduces by itself the amount of audio that's coming into your ears from the outside. The second stage is the audio noise cancellation that we have directly from the AirPods or the TicPods themselves. Now, it is rated to basically reduce the audio in about 25% from the external ambient sound. So what I did for that, just to kind of show you guys what it is, what it sounds like, I have a white noise track that's playing off of YouTube at about, I want to say about 30 to 40%, and I'll play it closer to you guys so you guys can hear what it sounds like. I hope you guys were able to hear that. Now, I have active noise cancellation turned on, and I cannot hear this. This actually has enough time or power to be able to reduce the audio from it, but not only that, also give me the ability of actually not hearing it in the sound. So it does actually have a decent amount of noise cancellation on it. Unfortunately, if somebody's talking next to you, the way it's going to basically sound to you guys is where their volume just dropped. It doesn't totally cancel the audio, but the volume definitely does drop, giving you that more personal experience. For about $90, I think this is definitely a great experience. Let's go ahead and play a couple of tracks in here. I'm going to be listening to a couple of songs off of Tidal in hi-fi, so the audio performance obviously will be a little bit better than what we normally get with the compressed audio that we get off of YouTube or YouTube Music. The quality will definitely be a little bit better. And I'm going to listen to a couple of tracks, one with just music in it, and just a point of reference, this is more of the for video reference. I have been listening to music on this, a whole bunch of music for the last 5 days on the full charge from this, and I have not had to charge it. So this is not the first time me listening to music. I want to kind of give you guys like right in the moment type of an experience. So we'll go ahead and play a quick song. This is from the ASOT 970 straight off of Tidal. And one thing to note is I'm listening with this on 50% volume. I don't necessarily need the audio volume to be so loud. It definitely sounds good, and it's because of the noise cancellation and the noise isolation that we get with the AirPods or the TicPods that it gives us the ability of just having no need to increase the volume to compensate for external audio. So let's go ahead and do that. Yeah. It sounds good. It definitely has a more of a It definitely sounds like it has a little bit more of the mids and lows, so it's tuned to basically be more mids and lows heavy. So it's going to sound great with bass sound if you're watching movies and so on, trance, dance, hip hop music. Those type of songs that generally have a lot more bass in them, though, are definitely going to be more exaggerated, and it sounds much better. The vocals are actually pretty good, but as far as the highs, it seems like it doesn't perform as good in that department, more into the mids and lows. So again, more dance tuning, if you would say. I would say that that's the level of configuration. Now, because we don't have access to an app to be able to configure them or tune them, that kind of puts it into a situation is if you're looking for headphones that sound great for music, for dance and EDM and type of hip hop music or bass heavy music, this is going to sound great. If you're looking for a pair of headphones that give you really good performance for the, highs, more like vocals, and just definitely something that it just needs more, I would say, better performance as audio, you're going to need to look for something else. And again, or I'd probably recommend you go into the TicPods 2 Pro, which are definitely much better and are a little bit more, but give you better audio performance there, and just overall better connectivity over to your smartphone, as it actually supports a better codec for audio performance there. So now I'm pretty sure you guys want to hear exactly how does the audio on these headphones sound from the microphones. So this is a quick sample of the audio coming straight from here. And coincidentally, as far as phone calls, the people on the other side of the phone call have actually no idea that I'm using a headset. They actually thought that I was using the device directly, like I'm actually holding the phone in my hand. So audio quality on the TicPods ANC are going to be absolutely really good from audio recording, if you want to, let's say, use that to record a video like this, or if you want to be able to have phone calls with this, it's going to sound really, really good. So the overall experience is actually pretty good. As far as range, it actually works pretty nice. I was able to go up to about 40 feet away from my phone, and it still was able to give me clear audio. And of course, the gestures or the touch sensitivity was working nice. Keep in mind that the experience with the touch sensitivity changes if you're wearing one or two of them, and they are independently connected to your smartphone, so you're not worrying about basically using one over the other. Sound quality actually gets better if you turn on the pass-through or the ANC functionality, as it seems like it's turning on some functions, and it does actually have a little bit of an impact into the audio quality. But overall, it actually sounds really good for the mids and lows. As far as the highs, I would say not necessarily the best performer, but for dance, for EDM, that type of music, and of course for gaming, it's actually going to be pretty good. Unfortunately, latency on this is actually pretty high as far as gaming, so I would not necessarily recommend them for gaming. But the overall experience, for 90 bucks, active noise cancellation, easy to use, and not having to actually deal with an application makes them easier to pair with any device. Because the controls are on the actual headphones themselves, the only difference is obviously if you're connecting it to an iOS device, you're launching Siri. If you're connecting it to most Android devices, you'll be launching the Android Assistant. And if you're connecting it to a Samsung device, for the most part, it keeps launching Siri. So just keep in mind, sorry, I blanked on which one for Samsung. But the overall experience, I think for $90, it's actually pretty good. Good sound quality, and because of that little ear cover that they're using there, making it have somewhat of a sound isolation by just putting it inside of the ear canal, and of course turning on active noise cancellation, it does help. It's not going to be the best pair of headphones that you get as far as noise cancellation, but having that at $90 is still better than not having any of that in that price range. The headphones themselves, I think, would have been nice if we had wireless charging with the case, but I feel like those are some of the compromises that they did. Overall experience, charging is pretty quickly, and of course you're able to put them back in the case and charge them pretty nicely. So thank you to Mobvoi for allowing me to check out the TicPods ANC. I'll give you guys a link in the description below, of course, to be able to check them out if you're looking to get a pair of headphones that feature true wireless technology as well as ANC for $90. This is definitely a budget ANC pair of headphones that you can pick up in 2020. I'll see you guys in the next video.